Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to the game according to me. Another episode where we are talking about what's going on in the sports landscape. Once again, we'll get down with the college and pro football world, but we're also going to take a look once again at the Major League Baseball playoffs. We had some interesting things happen within the past week. The Yankees and Guardians um, won their respective series to go on to the NLCS, while the Dodgers and Mets won their respective series to go on to the NLCS. So now we've got a 2-0 lead for the New York Yankees, and a series is tied at 1 for the Mets and Dodgers. Some people are saying, a Subway series, which we had it in 2000. A Subway series would not be that great. Again, there have been talks about the ones you want is the Yankees and the Dodgers, which you want most likely the AL MVP, Aaron Judge, going up against the NL MVP and Shohei Ohtani. But what happens if the Guardians and the Mets make it? Could that be a good series at all? We'll never know. We'll have to wait and see if that does become, like a truth telling sayings, you know what I mean? So we'll have to wait and see about that. But right now, again, the Yankees are up 2-0. With Game 3 happening tomorrow at 5 Eastern, 4 Central. And Game 3 is happening as this was being recorded on Wednesday night. Usually I do it Wednesday morning. I had other things to do. So Wednesday night, it's a 0-0 in the bottom of the first. So should be some good action there. We'll probably next week we'll have the World Series set up. More than likely, as the Game 7 of the NLCS is scheduled for next Monday, and the Game 7 of the ALCS is scheduled for next Tuesday, if it goes that far. So next Wednesday we'll be talking about the World Series matchup and give a little preview of that. Now, on to the college football and the stuff that happened this past week and what's coming up this week. Okay, so now let's talk about what went down last week in college football. Week 7 started off with Clemson at Wake Forest, 49-14. Missouri upset UMass 45-3. They didn't upset it, but they upstaged them. Alabama won by the skin of their teeth against South Carolina 27-25. Army, now ranked in the top 25, beat UAB 44-10. Notre Dame beat Stanford 49-7. Again, that Northern Illinois loss is going to hurt them, I guarantee it. Texas in the Red River Shootout, or Red River Rivalry now, won 34-3. Pittsburgh beat California 17-5. Purdue in overtime Illinois beat Purdue in overtime 50-49. Penn State beat USC 33-30 in overtime. BYU took down Arizona Wildcats 41-19. Mississippi State lost to Georgia 31-41. Florida and Tennessee. Tennessee won that 23-17. A bit closer game than most people thought there. Ole Miss lost to LSU 29-26. The game of the day, Ohio State against Oregon. Oregon won 32-31. They did that 12-man thing, put an extra man out there in the field. It ran extra time off the clock, and Ohio State didn't have enough time to to send out a field goal team or anything like that. So, and now because of that, the NCAA has changed that rule where if a 12th man is out on that field and sent out, their the time will be set back to the original time. So there you have it. Iowa State beat West Virginia 28-16. Kansas State beat Colorado 31-28. And Boise State beat Hawaii 28-7. Boise State, Ashton Jeanty, the running back there, he only scored one touchdown, but he had 31 carries for 217 yards. He is the Heisman leader. I know what Travis Hunter is doing, playing both ways, is amazing. But man, that kid from Boise State is incredible. He really is. As we look ahead to now week 8 of the college football landscape, Friday we have Purdue at home against Oregon. That should be a pretty easy take for the Oregon Ducks. Oklahoma State is at BYU. BYU surprising team in the Big 12 right now. Auburn's taking on Missouri. Miami are taking on Louisville. Army's hosting the East Carolina Pirates. Virginia is at Clemson. Nebraska's at Indiana. Indiana, a shocking team in the Big 10, undefeated. Charlotte's at Navy, another surprising undefeated team. Army and Navy in the top 25. Army and Navy are now in the same conference, the American Conference. So could you actually have a thing where you could have Army and Navy play in the championship game, and then they would play the next week in the Commander-in-Chief Trophy? That would be something. It's the third Saturday in October. So what does that mean? Tennessee and Alabama. Tennessee's be the home game. Remember last time they were at home against Alabama, they won on a very long-lasting field goal. Another good matchup here. Michigan is at Illinois. That's something that's going to be look ahead to see again who's going to be on top in the Big 10 when it all comes down to it. Notre Dame is at Virginia Tech, but I also believe that is like a game that's going to be in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So it's not a true road game for Notre Dame, but they should take care easily of Georgia Tech. It should. We'll see. Wait and see. Texas A&M is at Mississippi State. LSU is at Arkansas. This is the battle for the Golden Boot, I believe. This is before all of the movement and everything. This used to be on Thanksgiving weekend. LSU and Arkansas rivalries on Thanksgiving weekend is now everything that's coming around in the SEC and everything like that nowadays. It's a little bit lesser now, so we get it a month earlier. Kansas State is at West Virginia. Central Florida is at Iowa State. Another team that's shocking in the Big 12. And SMU, shocking in the ACC, is at Stanford. But the game of the day are the number 5 ranked Georgia Bulldogs against the number 1 ranked Texas Longhorns. This is going to be massive. This, because Georgia already has a loss. Texas is undefeated. This is going to be a big shot to see who is going to get into the SEC championship game and who could possibly even be missed out. Georgia gets that second loss. Could they actually miss the first ever 12-team playoff? Because they have 2 losses. Man, it's going to be a good Saturday of football. Some very interesting and should be some very good games, and it could set the stage for what's to come down the stretch with some amazing games happening this weekend. So it's gonna be fun. Now, let's take a look at the National Football League. Look back at what we've had in the week past, and look forward to what we're going to see this upcoming Sunday. Okay, so we go back to last Thursday when the Seahawks hosted the 49ers. 49ers won that 36-24. Again, Brock Purdy just proving that he's an elite quarterback in this thing. Throws he was made, including that special one to George Kittle on Kittle's first touchdown. Absolutely amazing. 49ers had some fun scoring touchdowns, going over and jumping in the wide section with Kyle Juszczyk and George Kittle. And I especially love this game because I did a parlay that I actually hit. So George Kittle would get 2 touchdowns, correct? Deebo Samuel would get a touchdown, he did. And the 49ers would score over 26.5 points, and they did. And I hit a nice parlay, a nice little change now in my FanDuel account. And we're going to see if we can try to hit another one this weekend. We'll have to wait and see. Now, to Sunday's action, we started early over in Great London. My Chicago Bears took on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Caleb Williams, 4 touchdown passes. Looked very great, looking like he is, becoming the quarterback he is. Like I've already said, he's better than Justin Fields ever was. And he looks better than Trevor Lawrence, who should be better than him. But Bears held court. Even though they was in London, they held home field, won at home, and they won the game 35-16. The Buccaneers just obliterated the Saints 51-27. I mean, it was the first half was just back and forth, up and down the field. You score a touchdown, I score a touchdown. You score a touchdown, I score a touchdown. You kick a field goal, I kick a field goal. It was amazing what the Buccaneers in the second half just took control over that game and left the Saints in their dust. So that was a pretty interesting game right there. The Commanders and the Ravens, one of the top early games. The Ravens beat the Commanders 30-23, but the Commanders, hold on, they showed that they could be something. And I think that's going to be hell to pay down in the as we come along into the into the rest of the season. And the Ravens, they are who we are. They're running the ball. They're playing pretty good. They're playing well. I don't know if they're playing pretty good defense, but they're playing enough defense to the point to where they can, every now and then get a third down here, get a third down stop here, and get their defense off the field, and get the ball back to their offense. So it's just becoming a real explosive running offense. When you have Derrick Henry and Jamal Jackson, that's what happens. You become an explosive run offense. And I've been hard on Lamar Jackson the last couple of years, but I will admit that he is playing better position from the quarterback than I ever thought that he would. And maybe the running game is helping him. Maybe the running game with Derrick is helping him because it's they play pass and he can do it. But I still contend that the past 2 years he has not been, or maybe 3 years, however long it's been, he was not the passer that he was in his second year when he won the MVP. It has not been that way. But the start of the season, he's been a little bit better. So I will admit that. The Packers beat the Cardinals 34-13. Jordan Love with another 4 touchdown game. Jordan Love he's getting back on track, and that's a big shock for the division. They don't want to see that. The Titans, Colts won 20-17. Another game where Joe Flacco played pretty well for the Colts, and they beat the Titans. Will Levis is going through some real struggles right now, and he has to come out of that. The Titans one of this, but they still have a year or so to do. So hopefully they stick with Will Levis and they don't say, well, we're going to draft someone else, as they did to Malik Willis. They said, well, we're not going to stick with Malik Willis. We're going to go ahead and move on to, and get another quarterback. So the Packers, the Texans beat the Patriots 41-21. Patriots. Drake made his first game, threw his first couple touchdown passes. Looked pretty well, but that defense had him rocking and rolling. And the offense did the same thing. Texas won 41-27. The Eagles beat the Browns 20-16. Kevin Stefanski still saying that they're not gonna get rid of Deshaun Watson. That he is the quarterback for the team, and that's the way it is. Some people think that this is something that they are doing to that is done by the owner who made the GM who made the deal for Kevin Stefanski. They're forcing him to play Deshaun Watson. Maybe that is the case. So maybe the case is that they know that Deshaun Watson is washed, and they need a new quarterback. So the only way they can do that is by drafting one. So Deshaun Watson helping us lose. We'll get a high pick for a quarterback, or we can trade that high pick to get one. There might be a couple actually that would be available. Maybe even Dak Prescott if the Cowboys decide to go a different way. And Nick Sirianni of the Eagles is on the sidelines, squawking at the fans who were chanting "Fire Nick" throughout the game. You just can't do that. You can't do that. And he knows that he was kind of smug afterwards, but he came back the next day and said that he apologized. So, but you can't do that. You have to take what the fans give you. They're paying your salary. They're voicing their displeasure with what they're seeing, rightfully so. The Eagles, they're 2 years off the Super Bowl team. Really, not too many things. They gained Saquon Barkley, even though they lost Jason Kelsey and Sean Reddick. They lost as well. But this team should not be. And they were 10-1 at one point last year and lost 6 straight. So I mean, it's there's some stuff going on there in Philly that they need to get together and try to fix that. Chargers beat the Broncos 23-16. The Steelers beat the Ravens 32-13. And in this game coming up, Steelers, they have decided to. They have not really named a starting quarterback. Russ Wilson took first team snaps, and Greg Tomlin has been kind of coy about it. Now I don't know if they're making the Jets, work on 2 quarterbacks. I don't know if they are, if this is a bluff and they're going with, if they're going to go with Justin Fields, or if they are going to go with Russell Wilson. And if they are, I think this continues to prove that Justin Fields with 4-2, but he's just not doing the things that a quarterback should do. A real quarterback should do. He's just not that guy. He's a fantastic runner, not a great thrower. And and if they go to him, they go to Russell Wilson over him. I think Justin Fields need to really take a look at it and say, I need to switch positions, and I need to be a receiver or a halfback, because I'm not getting it done. You need to look inside yourself, son. You're not getting it done. The Falcons beat the Patriots. No, they didn't. The Falcons beat the Panthers 38-20. The Lions is absolutely mollywopped the Cowboys 47-9. They were trying all types of trick plays to get some get some linemen some touches. They did the cooking ladder with Penei Sewell, which was incredible. They tried to go to what's the name? One of their tackles. To get him a thing, they put Dan Skipper out there at wide receiver to try to get it. I mean, they were trying everything to to get an offensive lineman to score because of what happened last year, and it was just amazing, and it rubbed it in their face, and it was kind of deserved after last year. Even though the Cowboys had nothing to do with it, it was the officials. But I think they came down and they wanted to show that it was they are the better team, and I think they are probably the best team in the NFL right now. The Bengals on Sunday Night Football beat the Giants 17-7. They needed this. It was an ugly game, not a good game, but they won, and this is what you have to do. Now you have to try to get better going for next week. And in Monday Night Football, the Bills beat the Jets 23-20. The biggest thing about this game is the next day, both the Bills and Jets made trades. The Jets, apparently, the trade for Devontae Adams was actually made Monday night and announced Tuesday in the morning. But they traded, for Devontae Adams, reuniting Aaron Rodgers and Adams. And then the Bills made a trade to get Amari Cooper from the Cleveland Browns. So now Josh has a kind of a go-to receiver, when need be. I still think that he could turn around, and I think Amari Cooper is actually perfect. I think he's the type of person who would be okay with Josh still, throwing it around. He's not gonna throw tantrums, he's not gonna do anything, but he's still gonna be a guy that can create separation and get open, make the big catch when you need to. So I think that's a good thing for Josh to get. And I agree with some of the people on TV who have said that was a more impactful trade than the Adams to the Jets trade. I do. I think the Bills, they needed that one, and they needed to have that one in place so that they could keep drives going, keep their defense off the field. Their defense has not looked good in the last few weeks. Keep the defense off the field and try to put up points. So I think that's good for Josh Allen and the Bills. And as for the Jets, we'll have to wait and see. Again, they got the Steelers this week in prime time. Let's see what happens. As for this upcoming week, tomorrow night, we have the Broncos at the Saints. Sean Payton going back home to New Orleans with his new team. That should be very interesting. Two rookie quarterbacks starting, Spencer Rattler and Bo Nix. And then Sunday, another England game. The Patriots at the Jaguars. Now the Jacksonville Jaguars are the home team. And we'll see what the Patriots do when over there. But here on American soil, we've got the Lions and the Vikings. This is a good matchup. The Vikings just coming off their bye. The Lions doing their thing, coming off this destruction of the Cowboys. Who's gonna, can Brian Flores and that defense stop that seem to be high-powered offense of the Lions? We'll have to wait and see. And will the Lions pull out any tricks on the Vikings? Which would be a good thing. And can Sam Darnold keep his good game streak alive and keep this team moving effectively down the field scoring points? It's going to be a good one. We got the Titans at the Bills. This should be another great start. Who knows if Amari Cooper is going to play, but this should be one for Josh Adams. By the way, I really need to see this. Check it out real quick. Let's do this real quick. I don't know if Josh Allen still has a turnover. Yeah, he in this season he's got 1,160 yards, 10 touchdowns, no interceptions. Now I think he had a fumble in the very first game. I think he also lost it. But man, I mean, he's protecting the football better than he ever has in his career. And now the addition of Mark Cooper is going to be amazing. If boy, I'm waiting to see the day when a quarterback does go the whole season without um, throwing an interception, and if it could be Josh Allen, maybe it'll shut some of these folks up about Joe Burrow being better than him, or even Lamar Jackson being better than him. No, Josh Allen is the best quarterback in this league. Point blank. Period. End of discussion. Let's stop it. The Dolphins coming off their bye, I believe, right? Yeah, they're playing the Colts. Seahawks are at the Falcons. Both Seahawks reeling after 2 straight losses. They need to try to get back on track, but can you do it against a very hot Falcons team? That should be a fun one. The Texans at the Packers. This year another good one. You know, the Packers have been turning the ball over, or forcing turnovers, from their opponents like crazy. And can they do that with the Texans? And the Texans are just they're a complete team, and so that's another fun one. Bengals at the Browns. The Eagles are at the Giants. The Raiders are at the Rams. Panthers are at the Commanders. The Chiefs are at the 49ers. That should be a good one. We'll see what happens with those guys and see what they do. If they make a stand. This is a Super Bowl rematch of not only last year but a few years ago as well. So should be a fun watch. The Jets are at the Steelers, like we mentioned. 2 Monday night games. We got the one that's on regular ESPN, but you also put on ABC. Ravens at the Buccaneers. That should be a really good one. Hopefully it will be. And then if you get ESPN Plus, it's the Chargers at the Cardinals. So there's a look ahead to Week 7 of the National Football League. Should be a great slate of games. And for me as a Bears fan, it's gonna be a fun week. Cause I always like when the Bears going by because you get to watch other teams around other leagues, and I think that's fun. So a lot of games to watch on Sunday here, and let's go ahead and wrap this puppy up, shall we? All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this episode of That to Shoot. Again, make sure you are back here next week. That's when once again we'll be looking back on what happened this weekend in college and pro football. We'll be looking ahead to next weekend's college and pro slate, as well as previewing the World Series. Alright, guys, thank you guys so much for listening. Again, if you want to support this podcast and support your boy's content, many ways to do it. Patreon.com/AJTRIP. Become a patron. Once I hit a certain amount of patrons, you will be able to determine what I play on my Twitch channel. This has to be a game that I have, twitch.tv/AJTrip. What videos I do from my YouTube channel, youtube.com/AJTrip20. And what I talk about on my other podcast, the AJTrip Show. Make sure you're there for that. You also, if you look down the description box, I know there's a link to the Spotify section of the support, and there's 3 tiers there: 99¢, $4.99, and $9.99. However, it's a tough times with inflation and everything like that, so maybe you don't have the money to support what you feel you really want to do. There's ways to do that as well. Share this on all your social medias. Share this on, with your group text, in your group text, or anything like that. If you're watching on YouTube, apparently you can copy the link, and that helps out as well as, liking and sharing and subscribing to my channel. So, a lot of good things going on there. And yes, if you are listening to this on the Paul podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast, if you're listening to this is a way to support me there as well. Just highly rate my podcast. I appreciate any support that that you give me and my content. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this episode of the Gaming According to me. Again, like I said, we'll be back next week with a whole new channel. We'll be back in the morning more than likely as well. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.